Dave Goldstein.
Welcome back to Comedy at Club 54. You having fun? Having some chuckles? Let's hear it for Crystal Gomes in the back, huh? Great comedian, really nice person. Gonna go a long way. Next stop, Hollywood. Your next act, this guy is from New York City. He appeared on the show about 4 years ago, and he's been on Conan O'Brien about 8 times. That's how good he is. Please welcome the hilarious Dave Goldstein. Put your paws together.
Let's hear it for Ben and Crystal doing a great job for you guys. Well, no, Ben was stressing how nice Crystal is. He didn't say anything about me. Bring him up. I couldn't wait to get up here, man. Canada in February. Oh, it's perfect for me because you put a couple extra layers on and your gut looks like a muscle, man. It's perfect. I'm thinking about moving to the Northwest Territories, and I'm a god there. I had to make a decision recently. My agent called me, and he wanted me to audition to be the host of a pro-smoking videotape. I swear to God, to show that smoking is good for the economy. And I turned it down, and he called me back. He said, well, think about it overnight, because it's paying $140,000. I called him, it's like, dude, 140 grand, I'll do a pro-crack spot, you know? I thought it was something non-union, $200-300 bucks. 140 grand is a lot of not driving to Canada in February. And then I was thinking about it that night, and I said, you know what? I think I'm onto something. I'm going to take every despicable cause that comes across his desk, you know, like some anti-safe sex group out there, you know, just, oh, rubber schmubber, stick it in. A big cheer there. And somehow I thought that one would work with this crowd. I'll do a thing in favor of drunk driving now. Hey, you want to drive drunk? Well, buy yourself a Winnebago. That's right. You can't be arrested for drunk driving when you're already home. Thank you. Nice being back on stage. I had back surgery this year. So yeah, wow, what a nice crowd. You know? Normally people throw stuff and see if I can dodge it at this point. And I finally found out what women like when I had surgery. Guys, yell out, what do women like? Money. Money, sir. You're a very romantic man. They do like money. Women like scars. It's weird. Wow, and there's one, and I wouldn't expect it to be at that table, actually. I thought you guys were just like a guy who shovels the drive, you know, just screw the scars, money. If he cuts the grass in the summer, shovels. Because I have like a 12-inch scar in my back now. The first woman I had sex with after I got out of the hospital saw the scar, and she said, I really like that scar. It makes you look a lot less white bread. Yeah, now I'm sliced white bread, I guess. You know, same dork I was before, but you guys realize that men will go completely the other way? Men will lie to get laid. Yes. All right, well, maybe not this far north, but everywhere else in the world, because my best friend saw the scar and he said, dude, this is perfect for you. Now you can tell women you got shot in the Gulf War. Okay, dumbass, let's think about that. Where's the scar? Yeah, it's on my back, you know, like, I look like a coward, you know, I was running away from the Iraqis, and one of my buddies plugged me in the bag with an M16, and had a good time up here. I made a big mistake. I have some advice for the guys in the room. Guys, when a woman asks you what your fantasy is, include her. Right, it should be common sense, shouldn't it? But I haven't had a girlfriend for a while, so I've gotten in the habit of answering questions honestly, I guess is the way to put it. Look at all the guys. I don't know what he's talking about. And then you try and schmaltz it up to get her back. I said, actually, honey, in our fantasy, it's you and I at a bed and breakfast nestled along the shores of Lake Ontario. Or any body of water near the audience. And we've slept all night under a new down comforter, and I've gotten up early to hand-make that orange marmalade you seem to enjoy. what happened to me, but that's starting to sound good to me now as a fantasy. Like, I think when they fixed my back, they removed my balls. I don't know. They could do anything. I was knocked. I'm afraid I'm going to wake up one morning and say, honey, today instead of the Super Bowl, let's go antiquing. How's that sound, huh? Wow, that's actually working with a couple of girls. Look at that. I could sand that down. We'll restain that. We'll put that in the foyer. What? How did a foyer sneak into my fantasy? Like, I'm afraid I'm going to go to a wedding next and ask if I can take the centerpiece home. You know, can I take this? Because this would look great. I'll tell you, the worst is what you say to a woman who's crying. Wow, listen to it get quiet in here. All the guys like, hold on, I may need to know this. I got to roll up my sleeves for this one. I'll tell you my worst woman crying story. We were naked. We were laying in bed. I was laying on top of her. And you see, that's not really the funny part yet, sir. She starts crying, just sobbing. I'm laying on top of her, and now my mind starts racing. I'm thinking like, wow, man, maybe I was just squishing her. Yeah, I don't know, or maybe she woke up. I don't know, So, that I apologize for, ladies. And how do I say that in front of that nice table? And so I wanted to say something nice, so I didn't know what to do. So I got off, and all right, let me clarify that a second. I didn't get off, I got off of her, for God's sakes, this crowd. And so, right, I'm standing there, and I want to say something nice, and I was just about to say something, and she said, Dave, I just want you to know it's nothing you did. You're just the first guy I've been in bed with since my fiance, Cleve, moved out of the house. Yeah, Cleve? I wanted to say something nice, but in my head I just kept hearing Cleve, Cleve, Cleve. Which I think should have meant leave. And then she looked at me and she said, how long does it take to get over a broken heart? 2 minutes. It's a very sensitive crowd. And so I wanted to say something nice. In my head, I'm thinking, all right, don't be a smartass for one time in your life. So I took a deep breath, and I looked at her, and I said, LaQuisha. A few people aren't sensitive enough to hear the story. I got more of me and the old lady, so I said LaQuisha. This guy in here going, I go fishing at Lake Quisha every year. It's about 4 hours. They got muskies, like. So then I was thinking, all right, let me say something nice. I took a deep breath. I said, LaQuisha, one morning, it was hard getting through it. One morning you'll wake up and you'll realize your heart was never really broken. There was just a little piece of it missing. Wow. Well, I may have to move here, actually. I've been living in New York for about 10 years, and LaQuisha will kick you right in the nuts for that, actually. It's not real sensitive down there. I would have had it, too, if it was a movie, and, like, the director yells cut, and the next scene is me building a snowman with orphans outside, Getting hit in the head with a wayward snowball. Hey, you darn kids. I love you anyway. Who wants hot chocolate? And then I go with the, heart's not broken. But in reality, I said, your heart's not broken. There's just a little piece of it's missing. I couldn't hold it, Like, I was a salesman before I was a comic. Yeah, that's hard to figure out. Because, when you're full of shit, there's only so many directions you can go in. Right, Now, I know we got a lot of ice here, but any scuba divers in the crowd? Oh, all right. Sir, what does scuba stand for? Yell it out for us. Well, I'm gonna cover for you. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Thank you. Oh, right, you're just confirming it. Thank you. You wanted me to learn it on my own. You wouldn't just, okay. And I said that a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, what does scuba stand for? And the guy stood up and back and went, fun. I took him aside. I said, man, I don't know if you should swim by yourself, but you could work for an ad agency, man, because that works, I think. And well, actually, I shouldn't say I'm really certified. I was in Cancun, Mexico, and if you have a credit card, you're already certified to scuba dive. You could do anything you can afford. I got to drive a bulldozer while I was down there, and I separated Siamese twins. It was awesome, you know? I was gonna run for president. It's for sale. I was just over my credit limit, you know? Like, if I had a platinum card, I'd be El Presidente, Dave Goldstein. You guys have been great fun. Thank you very much.